welcome to another edition of Golfsoup. As always, I'm your host, James Lee, back with a new show this week after the storms. We really appreciate all you guys watching our show that was kind of dedicated to the bad storms that come through. We're at Lupton City this week, my golf course. We're going to play a few holes for you guys and just kind of think out loud for you here in just a minute. We've just about got all the damage cleaned up that we had out here. We've got a lot of repair work still to do to the clubhouse and things of that nature, but back up and running. So don't forget us out here at Lupton City Golf Club. Of course, it's starting to come around. This crazy weather we're having this year, though, is really kind of dampening us out here a little bit. One week it's 90 degrees every day, and the next week it's like today, a high of 59. It's crazy weather this year. Not only in the temperatures, but in the storms that are blowing through us as well. Local golf courses, I think just about everybody's close to back up and running. I know Moccasin Bend had a lot of tree damage over there. Talked to DeVere, and he had over 100 trees fall over there, as did a lot of the other golf courses. But I think we're all back up and running, folks. So this weekend's supposed to be nice and pretty. So if you're not here at Lupton City, go somewhere in the Chattanooga area and tee it up for a great round of golf. I'm going to take just a quick break and tee it up here on the first hole at Lupton City. And just like I said, kind of think out loud. You guys have asked me in emails and stuff to do more teaching lessons or do more tips and stuff like that. So we're going to kind of dedicate the whole show to some different shots if we get in those, or how we're going to play this shot, the different variations that we can use, different shots we can play on each shot, and things like that. So give me just a second to compose myself, and we'll hit the ball. All right, we're on the first tee here at Lupton City Golf Club. The first hole here is a par 5, 453 yards, I believe, somewhere in that neighborhood. Not a particularly long par 5. A par 5, you hit a really good drive, or if I hit a really good drive, we should have a short iron into it. If we missed the drive a little bit, it may be a little longer drive. When I step up to this hole, there's a lot of factors that go in what kind of shot I'm going to hit. If the wind's in my face, which it was earlier today, I'll most likely try to hit a draw, because a draw will dig through the wind a little bit better. If the wind's behind me, sometimes I'll hit a fade. The wind has shifted and it is a little bit behind us right now. So my first tee shot here, I'm going to hit a fade. And just telling you that don't do you a whole lot of good. You know, the fact that I can't hit the draw or the fade, most people watching may not have that in their arsenal. So if I were going to hit the draw, I'll tell you real quick just the changes I would make in the two swings. If I were going to hit the draw, I would set up with a little bit of a closed stance and make a much more inside swing. I really should back off of that, not a much more inside swing. Basically, I'm going to swing with my feet. I'm going to come inside, and I'm going to make contact with the ball, and I'm going to finish outside to promote this kind of rotation on it with the draw. With the fade, I'm going to do just exactly the opposite. I would sit up with a slightly open stance, pointed more to the left, and still swing along the lines of my feet. I don't change the swing much, just as long as I swing along this line so that I'm coming a little more outside here as opposed to the draw where I'd be coming a little more low inside here to promote that. So there's so many more things that can go into hitting a hook or a fade, but these are a good starting point for you at home if you want to try to shape your shot a little bit more. Like I say, wind's a little behind me, so I'm going to sit up for the fade, take it down the left side of the fairway and try to turn it back to the middle. Slightly open stance. My club face is pointed down the middle of the fairway. You always point your club face where you want the ball to end up. Now, just take your normal golf swing. Pushed it a little. Didn't start it down the left, started it down the right, but it's going to be pretty much okay. A little more right than I wanted. I'm going to hit another ball just to show you the difference in that. The fade and the draw. Now the draw obviously gets a lot more yardage. I'm sitting up with just a slightly closed stance. Down the right side of the fairway, club face pointed again at the center of the fairway. Same swing. Right up the gut, Coop. Fell off of that one just a little bit. I lost my balance, so I didn't get as good a draw as I wanted on that one, but still right down the middle. First one, not too bad. Not really the greatest fade I ever hit. Hit a good fade, I just started it way too far to the right, or to the center of the fairway, and it faded to the right of the fairway. So remember, when you're on the golf course, inside with a closed stance is a draw, outside with the open stance is going to be the fade. Let's go find one of those and play it. All right, we've picked the fade off the tee to play in the rest of the way. Your fade actually went a little bit further than the draw. Got off balance on the draw, so didn't hit it definitely really solid. So anyway, we're left here with about 155 yards to the green. Wind has shifted again. Now it's back in our face. Crazy around here sometimes. Anyway, 155 for me would be a normal 9-iron. Maybe I could get a pitching wedge up to that, but into this wind a little bit. I'm going to try to knock down an 8-iron here. See if I can hit it a little bit lower, keep it under the wind. Now the trick to doing that, to knocking it down, is pretty much abbreviating your swing. But just abbreviating your swing is not going to do it. Knowing the mechanics behind it or the physics behind it is what really matters. When we take a full golf swing, we come here, we make contact and come up around. We come up on a much better angle. That's going to give us more loft and put the ball much more up in the air. And you know, remember, the ball is only on the club face for a millisecond. I mean, it hits and shoots right off of there, but it's amazing how the different swing can make it go different ways. What I'll do with the abbreviated swing is I'll go about 3/4 here, and I'm going to go 3/4 to the other side here. Might finish a little bit more than that. It's my tendency. But what it does, it allows me to get a lot further down here. And just like if you were tossing 2 golf balls with your hand, if you toss one up like that and one like that, one's going to go high, one's going to go straight. So that's kind of my thought there. I use my right hand to guide the club as much as possible to really throw it down the line and keep it nice and low. Let's see if I can pull it off here. Set up with basically a square stance. Might account for just a little bit of a draw. Come on, baby, draw in there. Missed it just a little bit. Perfect distance, just a little bit to the right. Landed off the green about that far, but a really good, solid knockdown shot. Controlled the distance very well. Set up for that little bit of a draw and didn't get quite as much as I needed to get to knock it on. But hey, we got an opportunity to get it up and down. So let's see if we can. All right. Missed the green just barely to the right, dead pin high. Really, really good distance control on that knockdown shot there. Here, I've got several options available to me. It's a short pitch. I can use a 58 degree and just kind of pop it up on the green and let it run out 3 or 4 feet. Yeah, maybe 5 or 6 feet. Or I can use a pitching wedge, which is 48 degree, and just bump it right here in front, let it pop up on the green. Or I could even putt it, because we still got some really tight lies. Bermuda this year Bermuda grass just doesn't know what to do in this weather. It grows and then it doesn't grow, grows and doesn't grow because of the weather. But anyway, we've got a tight lie. So what I'm going to do is hit all 3 of them. My preferred shot from here, if I were playing a match, would be I would putt it, because a bad putt is much better than a bad chip any day of the week. If I hit a bad chip here, you'll see what I'm talking about. But first of all, I'm going to take the pitching wedge, open my stance up just a little bit, and I'm going to hit it basically like a putt, just a little longer putting stroke. Let the club do the work for me. Not bad there. I'll leave the putter for last. This next one, this next shot with the 58 degree. Now this is the much tougher of the shot, and I see so many guys out here trying to hit this shot time and time again because they see the pros on TV doing it and they think they should do it. But ladies and gentlemen, just because they can do it doesn't mean you should do it. In fact, I'm very tentative of this shot many times. there's just so much room for error. You can kind of get nervous at the end and kind of throw it at it, scull it across the green. You can drop it in, decelerate it, hit the ground. It won't go anywhere but a foot or so. So this shot takes a little more skill, and one that I would pick only if I were in an absolute must-make scenario. Almost made it, but it got a little far away from me. That was not a real bad pitch, but I've still left myself a 4 or 5 footer there. And now to my preferred choice here, which would be a putter. I know even if I hit this putt bad, I'm still going to be inside 5 feet, as to where I think that wedge shot was a decent chip. I've still got the 5 footer. A bad putt here would be that length. So just take the putter, give it a little extra because of the long grass you got, but it's not that much different. I left that low of the hole and it got a little away from me, but I've got 3 putts, 1 3-footer, 1 4-footer, 1 5-footer, so not bad from over here. Let's see if I can convert any of those putts. Now, short putts have been my nemesis in the past. Have been a lot of our nemesis in the past. This is all about trust, picking your line, trusting it, and hitting it. Don't worry about making it. Just worry about making a good putt. The less you worry about making it, the less pressure you put on yourself. The less pressure you put on yourself, the freer stroke you're going to make. So again, everything happens right here. You can only control how you hit this ball. So make sure you hit it with confidence. This is the toughest of the 3 putts, but again, this is where I say trust it. I know this is going to break hard to my right. I've got to play it out of the hole. It takes me out of my comfort zone to play it out of the hole, but I've got to trust it. I've got to hit it to the spot that I see and not worry about it going in or not going in, because if I wish it in the hole, it's not going to happen. And I just put it through there a little bit. But again, I made a good solid putt. Didn't miss it on the low side. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Didn't Meatloaf say that one time? We're going to the second hole of par 4, hit a drive, and talk a little bit more about what makes the ball do what off the tee box. All right, we've come to a par 3, the 8th hole here at Lufton City Golf Club, 145-yard par 3. I've got a wedge in my hand. Wind is still swirling. I have no idea which direction it's going to be blowing from second to second, really, out here. This hole is downhill all the way, so it doesn't play quite 145. It's probably more of a 135-yard hole. There is water in front of this green. There was a creek that, now there's a small pond down there. That's something that never really enters my mind, enters into my mind. There's no reason I shouldn't hit the ball solid enough to get it over there. So when you come up to something like this and there's water in front of it, you know, keep that don't even let it get into your mind. You let it get into your mind, it's going to cast doubts into your golf swing. Your golf swing gets doubts into it. You're going to start decelerating. Next thing you know, you've hit it fat, or you've not hit it enough of it, and you've hit it in the water. So don't even think about the water. Think about hitting it solid and onto the green. Now, it might be different if there was water behind it. I would give it a little more consideration, make sure I club properly so that I didn't get too much and go over. But in front of it, never enters my mind.